Hello everyone! I know it has been a slightly awkward amount of time since I last posted a video, but that is because I have been at E3 scoping out what is probably going to be some of the most anticipated games of 2017 and likely the last 3 years or so. I've got to tell you, we've kind of been in a dry spell, but I think that is about to change. In addition to that, of course, I've also not been uploading videos because my channel is still getting demonetized for having war-related content, and I am figuring out how I want to deal with that. I think I'm coming close to a solution that I will let you guys know about here very soon. And of course, I will go into a whole bunch of other details from E3 in other videos, but in this video, I want to talk about something that, if it doesn't blow your mind, it needs to start blowing your mind. Today we're going to be talking about Hell Let Loose. And Hell Let Loose is a game that is coming out of left field. A lot of people have not seen this. A lot of people are having trouble believing that it actually is a real game, a new game. A lot of people are like, no, there's no way a game that looks this good is coming out of nowhere. This has got to either be like photoshopped or like a scam or maybe it's footage of like an older game and they're just pretending it's there's no way. And I am here to convince you that you need to be keeping your eyes on this, because it is not fake. It is not a scam or some trickery in Photoshop or anything else. I am promising you, this is going to be probably the most anticipated and celebrated tactical shooter of this year. That is my bet. I'm putting my chips down on this game. And what is this game? This game is Hell Let Loose, a World War II tactical shooter that, I know you're sighing, I know you're deep sighing right now, because I know there's a lot of World War II games getting thrown around. Call of Duty World War II, Battalion 1944, Days of War, Fog of War, Postscriptum even, all of these different games, and I'm here to tell you why Hell Let Loose needs to be the game that you are most excited about in this new World War II random uprising genre. I don't know why 2017 is the year of World War II, but it is, and this is going to be the winner. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to explain to you why. The first thing is Hell Let Loose is a fully developed from the ground up game. This isn't some gimmicky paid mod of another game or some scrap together asset flip or anything like that. No, this is a proper, completely built from the ground up game, not just some copy or ripoff, and that is sorely needed right now. We've got a lot of successors and spiritual successors. You've got things like Call of Duty World War II, which is great. That's great that Call of Duty has their World War II revival, but it's going to be gameplay that you're very familiar with, that you've played before. This Hell Let Loose, I guarantee you've never played something like this before. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's some screenshots of gameplay. Hell Let Loose is going to combine a variety of things that I don't think has ever been combined before. Personally, I am a huge fan of the Company of Heroes series. Company of Heroes. Hopefully you all have played that. One of the best real-time strategy games of the decade. Oh my god, it actually, is it older than a decade now? When did that game come out? A long time ago. And I have always wanted to see the in-depth strategic gameplay of Company of Heroes realized in a tactical first-person shooter setting. And I want you to take a look at something really quick. You see up here? Do you see what this is? You see that fuel icon, the manpower icon, the munitions icon? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you see down here? Do you see the compass? Do you see that they are capturing an objective? This is going to be probably the first time ever a resource-driven, like Company of Heroes, tactical first-person shooter like Squad set in World War II. In this game, not only are you going to have vehicles, infantry, large, massively multiplayer maps in beautiful environments made from the ground up, it is going to be a resource-driven game. So you're not just... In fact, I think this is really cool because I think there is not very many like advancements or new ideas in the shooter genre. You've got Battlefield and it's got Conquest mode. Conquest mode evolved into Advanced and Secure from Project Reality and Squad, and even bits of Arma, and that's been kind of going on for the past 5 years. But there hasn't really been any significant change for the better in the objective-based game modes. In tactical shooters, it's always Advanced and Secure. Hell Let Loose is the first time I've seen something that's like a refreshing take on objectives in a tactical shooter. In this game, you are going to have to capture objectives or zones that offer resources. Using these resources, your team will be able to bring up heavy assets. Your team will be able to utilize different munitions or airstrikes. This is going to be Company of Heroes, the first-person shooter. Let that sink in for a second. It's crazy, I know, but that's what it's going to be, and that has me insanely excited because we've never had anything like that before. So, with that said, let's look through all the screenshots here really quick that I have. And then I'll give you a little bit of backstory of this game, how I'm associated with this game, and just kind of like the team behind it. Now, one of the reasons I'm really excited about Hell Let Loose is the development team. I know the development team very personally. One of the lead developers, Max, actually comes from the Project Reality community. He was one of the players of Project Reality. He's played on our servers. We've played together, and let me tell you, I have come to this point where I believe that a good game doesn't just need to have the game be good, the team needs to be good. I know that sounds kind of like a weird thing to say, but when you have a good game that comes out, but the community isn't supported, or the developers are really abrasive or abusive, or manipulative, or in any other way, not a positive influence on the game, but the game is good. I've gotten to this point where I don't really like playing those games anymore. There's some really genius developers out there putting out some really great games, but then fostering terrible communities around that game that kind of negate that game being good, that ruin the experience, at least for me. The reason I'm so excited about Hell Let Loose is not only does it look beautiful, not only are the gameplay ideas actually fresh and interesting and new. Not only do I think the game is going to be amazing, but the team behind it is working really hard to foster a really positive, caring, enjoyable community that I think is going to be a lot better of an environment, a lot better of an atmosphere than a lot of other games with similar communities. There's a lot of developers out there, especially during like the asset flip era, that are very defensive, very in some cases offensive, like aggressive. I mean, you can talk to Big Fry or a variety of other YouTubers constantly getting threatened for talking bad about a game or something like that, or having DMCA takedowns because they don't like a review. I can tell you right now, one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to with Hell Let Loose is that isn't a concern that I have. I'm really excited about this game because the development team is really, I guess, like, almost like emotionally stable. Is that too much to ask? Like, that's a ridiculous thing that is like a deciding factor for me nowadays in games. But to have developers that have their head on straight, that are good people, not just good developers, that's huge for me. So let's take a look at the website, and you can go to www.hellletloose.com. And we're going to go through all of the features of the game and talk in depth about Hell Let Loose. And again, to be very specific, I do not work for this studio. I am very close to the development team, or at least a couple of the developers who I feel are really going to do a good job for this game, and I really want to support them. But I am not on this team, and I am not developing this game. I don't know why. There's a couple people that think that this is my game. I don't understand how that happens. In fact, a lot of people get confused, and even though there has been many times that this has happened, and I have never said once that, oh, this game is mine. I've never said that. People still think that I like that games are mine, or that, like, I'm claiming a game. No. It's ridiculous. I've never said this. It is something on those people's ends that they are getting confused about, and maybe they need to do their research a little bit better. But no. This is, I am completely separate. I'm not being paid to make these videos. I'm not being paid to make any of these promotions or anything like that. I just feel really strongly about this game. But anyways, moving on. This game makes a lot of ambitious claims, but these are all claims that are not unrealistic. This game is built in Unreal Engine 4. We know what Unreal Engine 4 is capable of. All the things that they're talking about here is completely possible. I can vouch for that. Hell, a lot of normal players can vouch for that just because they've seen this in other games before. There's going to be 100 players in this game. Now, compared to Squad, I know Squad has been having some trouble hitting that 100-player mark. I have not seen 100 players in this game personally as of right now. I don't know if they're going to have the same problems. I'm expecting that they won't. But we do know that 100 players is possible in UE4. We've seen it before. Will it be incredibly stable? I'm not sure. But I can almost guarantee that Hell Let Loose is at least going to have very stable gameplay for 64 players. And hopefully they can achieve 100 players. I'm expecting that they'll be able to do that in a stable way. Obviously, that's not something we're going to be able to know until the game actually comes out. A really cool thing about the metagame system is that you are going to have to capture sectors in this game for resources. So imagine you're not just going to some random hut anymore. No, you're going to, like, a warehouse to capture munitions. You're going to a fuel sector in order to capture fuel supplies, in order to bring up things like these tanks, in order to maybe call in airstrikes. Kind of similar to Day of Infamy. Day of Infamy has a system where you can call in airstrikes and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of similar things like that. There is going to be large-scale maps, 4-kilometer squared maps. This is the same scale that we've seen in Project Reality. This is the same scale that we've seen in Squad. Again, this game is very highly influenced by Project Reality. The developers are coming from that community, which means there's going to be a lot of really strong resemblances between the two. And again, 4-kilometer squared maps, entirely possible in UE4. Already, I mean, you can boot up UE4 yourself and load that up. We've seen it in Squad. We've seen it in other games. I'm absolutely sure they're going to be able to deliver on that. Again, if you want to read these things, I'm not going to read all of this right now. But if you want to go to hellletloose.com, you can read this yourself. Now, another big thing about this game is that there is going to be realistic vehicles. And in fact, this is something I'm really, really excited about, because knowing the development team, talking to them about the game, what the game is going to offer, Max has told me, one of the lead developers, he has said that this game is going to play like the movie Fury. The tank gameplay is going to play like the movie Fury. And if you haven't seen the movie Fury, go watch it right now. But the armor gameplay, I think, is going to be more in-depth than any other armor gameplay we've seen in a recent tactical shooter. I think that the armor gameplay in Hell Let Loose is going to be comparable to, say, maybe Forgotten Hope 2. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more realistic. It's going to be a cross between Forgotten Hope 2 and Red Orchestra 2. Obviously, it's not going to be as in-depth as Red Orchestra 2, but it's going to be a little bit more in-depth than Forgotten Hope 2. However, Forgotten Hope 2 comes from a background of really, really good tank combat. In fact, they kind of took the Battlefield 2 engine to its limits, where they really modeled armor penetration and a variety of different damage types that you could take. That is something that I have been told, unless I am ridiculously mistaken, that is going to be a big priority in Hell Let Loose, is accurate, engaging, realistic vehicle combat. So you're going to have not just anti-armor positions and stuff like that, but you're going to have a variety of different armored vehicles as well, from heavy tanks to medium tanks, to tank destroyers, to all sorts of things. And I think that is going to be a defining characteristic of this game. Now, another thing is the resources and the logistics. A big thing in Squad was the logistical gameplay. A big thing in Project Reality was the logistical gameplay. This is something that is going to be brought into Hell Let Loose as well. Hell Let Loose is going to have a strong logistical supply chain for the players to use to their tactical advantage, to their meta tactical advantage. In this game, when you capture the resource zones, you're also going to have to establish supply lines. I mean, very, very similar to Company of Heroes. Company of Heroes also had a really great dynamic for this, where you had the zones, but that wasn't everything. You could also secure points, you could bring up supplies, you could put down positions. These are the things that are going to be really, really cool and really defining for this game. Again, think Company of Heroes first-person shooter, which is so, every time I say that, I just get more excited. And of course, realistic weapon handling. It's kind of weird to bring realistic weapon handling up as like a perk, because that's almost standard nowadays. But the realistic weapons in Hell Let Loose, I think, are going to be on par with Squad's style of gameplay. There's definitely going to be suppression mechanics. I don't believe there's going to be things such as like jamming. I mean, this isn't going to be Escape from Tarkov World War II, although that would be super dope. This is going to be kind of more a traditional tactical shooter. But of course, the weapons, I think, are going to be really beefy and really enjoyable. And then, of course, if you guys want to know more about this, I would tell you to go to their website. But here's the thing. I'm making this video in preparation of a major announcement for this game. And in the next couple of days, I know a lot of people have been saying, like, oh man, you know, where's the gameplay footage? Where's the... I'm telling you right now, like, I've never been wrong. I've never been wrong. When I told you needed to be focused on Squad, Squad was obviously a big success, probably more than everybody thought it was going to be. And I'm telling you, this is going to be the next one. Hell Let Loose is going to be a huge title. And I don't know, because in the next couple of days, you're going to see some footage of this game. and you're not going to be able to fucking control yourself. I'm telling you, it's going to be insane. And again, this isn't some mod. It's not some paid mod. It's not some rip-off of some other game. This is a proper, from the ground up, built game. These are the kinds of people that, in my opinion, if I were to ever support an actual game development team that is pushing the bar and remaking a game, that is why this game looks so beautiful. That's why this game isn't going to be like another game that you've played. That's why there's other games out there. Like if you do play a game that is being based off of another game's framework, and it plays really similarly, and it's kind of boring because it's so similar, and then and then they try to sell that. The reason I'm so excited about Hell Let Loose is because when you start from scratch and you build an entirely new experience, you're going to be able to push the genre in completely different directions and push it farther because you don't have any crutch. You understand the environment you work in. You understand, you have so much more control to do really, really amazing artistic things, and that's what I'm really excited. I mean, look at these environments. Look at how gorgeous this is. And talking to Max actually comes, one of the lead developers comes from almost a cinematography background. He works in VFX, and it shows in this game. Even the in-game screenshots, the grass, the textures, the trees, all of this is, you can see it's built from scratch. When you look at the screenshot, you're not going to look at the screenshot and be like, oh, well, this is a squad reskin, or oh, this is just a successor to a previous Call of Duty game, or oh, this is just no, everything here is a new concept built from the ground up, and a completely new vision. And I think just in the couple screenshots that you're seeing here, like, that comes across. That is it's really impressive, and I think you guys are going to be even more impressed here in the next couple days. So that is it about Hell Let Loose. You should be excited. This is probably going to be a huge game on this channel. I am going to be covering this hardcore. I love the development team that is working on this. It's a really great group of guys that absolutely have my undying support for this title. I really believe in this team. I really believe in them making a game that is going to bring everybody up. I've seen the way that they've been handling their community already, and it's very comprehensive. It's very inclusive. It's very fair, and it's very inspiring, honestly. And I think that this is going to be the kind of game that I'm going to be able to put my heart and soul into, and really get that experience back. Like, I'm going to be able to put a lot of myself into this game and get that back, which is what I'm really excited about. Because there's a lot of other games out there that I've put a lot of like love and passion into, and then it just kind of turns in a direction that I didn't think it would go. Either the community starts to become like really hostile, or the gameplay starts to kind of go in a direction that is maybe more catering to different communities that weren't supporting them there from the beginning, things like that, and not just, obviously some people are gonna like say squad and stuff like, but not just that. There's so many games out there where that's happened, and that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about Hell Let Loose, is because it's not just the game that I think is going to be amazing, it's the team behind it, it's the community that they're fostering. I think this game is going to be really great, and I think it's going to be a game for everyone, that everyone's going to be able to be involved in, that everybody's going to be able to celebrate and enjoy, that everybody's going to be able to support and really feel good about. And that's what I'm most excited about. All right, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot more to talk about after this. Unfortunately, this is all of the footage and this is all of the screenshots I am allowed to show currently. But here in the coming weeks, I think Hell Let Loose is going to rise to the top of everyone's attention. Everyone's attention. I know I did that Twitter campaign before I went to E3 a couple weeks ago, and that by itself, like not even a tenth of the media has been released right now. They are holding on to so much that they're going to let go of. And even during that small Twitter campaign, immediately everybody was just like, oh my god, this is something special. And it's just the beginning. Okay. A lot of other things to talk about from E3. Those will be coming up in other videos. A lot of other content coming up. As always, unfortunately, my channel is being obscenely demonetized, which is one of the reasons it has been so much harder for me to put time into it. But I've been working really, really hard to find new ways to support the community and push our community so everybody can still enjoy the games that we're doing, but hopefully not completely bankrupt us. So if you want to support us, make sure you go to bluedrake42.com right here. And I've actually worked on a new system right now. Before you became a supporter and you got a bundle of games, and that was kind of it, and it was kind of like a thank you package. Now I've recently overhauled it, and we're testing out this new system. Now when you become a supporter, you get new store credit every week, so you can get new games every single week as long as you're a supporter. New system that I'm trying out, and if you want to support the community and support our servers, support our projects, and support us supporting games like Hell Let Loose, go to bluedrake42.com. Hopefully help us ride out this adpocalypse on YouTube so we can keep ourselves funded. And besides that, I will see you guys next time. All right, love you, thanks for watching, and goodbye.